Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us recite Al-Fatiha. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. O Allah, you are the most merciful, the most compassionate, the most forgiving. Please forgive all our sins, our parents, our families, and the Muslim Ummah. O Allah, please help us. Please help our brothers and sisters who are suffering from hardship and difficulties. O Allah, please bless us with knowledge and virtue. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, first and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity to continue our class. Before we continue our discussion on topic of communication, I would like you to work with your nearest friends next to you and talk about anything that's related to communication. So I give you 5 minutes to talk with your friends next to you, and later I will call you to come here and tell us what actually you have discussed in 5 minutes about communication. Okay, please do so.
Does it mean that we need to pass the message and the last person need to come forward?
Okay, I would like the brother that near to the microphone. Our brother near to the microphone, please share with us your discussion. On the microphone.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So what we discuss, what I am discussing with my classmate is about communication.
Your name, please.
My name is Ch14. Okay, firstly, communication can avoid us from any misunderstanding, and communication can avoid the havoc. So that's all.
Oh, very short. Okay, our sister here. Here, right near to the microphone also. Oh, yeah, one of you. Please tell your name.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Ch14. Okay, what we this now is about communication. First of all, the meaning of communication is to act, transfer the information to one person to another person. So basically, in the information, at least two persons involved, which is the first one is the sender, the one that gives information, and the second one is the recipient. Actually, so far in the rough construction of the information, we have three, which is the sender, the message, which is the thing that we want to give the information, and then the third one is the recipient. So the one more that I would like to add in the communication is encode and decode are also involved in the communication. With encode is the one the sender will try to construct the message into easy diagram. I mean, like maybe like photos, diagram, visual, and so on. So the recipient can do their decode session, which is try to construct the message and understand it to their own way. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sister. Okay. Your brother in the red t-shirt at the back there. Okay, the last person who received the message, please do something.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rizal. So what we discuss is that first to communicate with each other, we need to know their background first. Then after we know it, their background, we will know their interest and their and what they hate. So we will not talk beyond the limit and make them uncomfortable. Then besides that, we need to know how to control our expression in order to avoid their that's all.
Okay, thank you. Sister, I think the person didn't receive your message. Okay, now I will let you, one of you, please share with us what actually happened just now. Okay, now please share with the class what actually happened. Yes, please use microphone. This one, please.
Circuit for containing two letters and links saying that convey a message to your friend to tell the last person to sit on a pink chair.
Okay, I give a message to you, and then you pass the message from one person to another through just simple whispering, right? Alhamdulillah, the person reached here. Okay, that's good. Huh? So what did you, can you share as the last person received the message?
So as the last person received the message, actually I will be
Confused.
yeah, because my friend helped me like my friend helped to explain it right. So you have to sit at a pink chair. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, while you were discussing about the topic, at the same time also I had one activity with that particular row, and actually the message to convey message from one person to another. But alhamdulillah, this group, they took the initiative, to reduce any potential misunderstanding in the communication. That's good. So you already experienced. If you are not sure, so you have to get verification, get other person to do the verification. And I did this activity because people approach me. They would like to ask my opinion. Why is that now they already work in the organization for 20 years. And now they felt that the organizations are not very good. The work culture, became very toxic. Toxic, right? Very acidic. And one thing that when I asked the person, what actually happened between in 20 years, you have, of course, your senior already retired. Now you have new batches of workers. So what differentiate between your batch 20 years ago and the younger batches now? The answer is they have lack of communication. Similarly, communication that is not clear, miscommunication, misunderstanding also will lead also to the destruction. In a family context, especially between the husband and wife, we need to have communication. Communication not just verbal, it can be also non-verbal. Right? For example, you have to use signal, and you also have to understand. But if you don't understand the signal, then you have to get verification. I remember during my childhood, my parents just stare at me. I already understood. What was that mean? I did something that not pleased to my parents. So you understood. So you check yourself, what went wrong with me? Then we easily understood. But now, your batch, if your parents stare at you, what will be the reply from you? Bad. Anything problem? Any problem? Mean to say that there is no proper training in the family. Because I remember in our case, before we went to any house for visit, our parent already did the briefing. I'm not sure whether you had that same training. If you go to a person's house, rule number 1, don't touch anything. Rule number 2, do not looking around people's house. Rule number 3, wherever people ask you to sit, just sit. Don't go anywhere. But if you need to go to their washroom, raise your hand, or perhaps approach personally to the owner of the house and ask for their permission to go to the washroom. And when you are asked to eat, and do not rush. Not a briefing, no. As if in the army, you go to house number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. If you misbehave, that will stare at you. Mean that the signal, non-verbal communication. That's good. So sometimes, because you in the public, you do not want to show your dissatisfaction, your anger to your subordinates, but you use the non-verbal communication signal. So people look at you, you understood. Like in our organization. So when our boss stare at you, you already understood something is missing, or something that you did something wrong. I remember my boss at the front here. I did something, bad at the back. My boss just tell you, but now the boss tell you, what? Any problem? You want to fight? Because we're getting, more disrespect. So one thing that I also would like to convey to all of you from the lecturers' observation here, some of them already worked here since 1983. They would like you, if you already good, okay, no problem. Please convey to your friends. When we are in the garden of knowledge or university, we also need to practice certain ethics or certain etiquette and manners. Very simple manners, respect people. Okay. If you don't want to respect the person because the person is not your lecturer or your someone that did something good, respect them in terms of humans. Okay, respect each other. So how to respect each other? You don't have to be Japanese. Arigato. No, you have to just greet the person. And give salam is something rewarding, right? Rewarding for us. So this etiquette already reduced in our university, and perhaps due to the online class, people became faceless, and therefore they became careless. Therefore now revive back. So I say to them, we don't have to be unhappy with our situation, because we are living together. We just tell them, please respect your friends, your classmates, whoever in this university. Respect the cleaners, the maintenance people. Sometimes they were afraid to greet you, because they feel inferior, because you people are scholars. Okay, scholars. They also do not want to greet you because they're afraid. But why don't you start? Greet our cleaners, our maintenance people, so they will feel better. And some people they establish bonding with the people in their surroundings. It's good for us to establish the bonding with people. We do not know, okay, what could happen to us in the future. Perhaps somewhere these people could be our rescue in somewhere. That's the reason that I would like to emphasize. Number 2, people are complaining about why we need to follow dress code, why we need to follow regulation. People are now questioning. Okay, because we are in Malaysia, I would like to remind all of you in Malaysia, regardless of your religion, your faith, your citizenship, we have one we call the principles. The principle of the country called Rukun Negara. In Indonesia, they also have their principle. Anyone from Indonesia? Pancasila? Is it Pancasila? Anyone in the Zoom from Indonesia? Or here? Any Indonesian here? None. Not Pancasila, right? We call the Pancasila. Fine. Number one is, I just would like to remind, because we are here in Malaysia, people also, Tan Sri, in recent forum, Tan Sri Kamal Hassan, our former rector, now IKIM chairman, and then also other former speakers also mentioned about we have to come back to our norms, our practice, our uruf, right, in the country. First, the Rukun Negara means that we have to have belief in God. Okay, we must have belief in God. Okay, spirituality. Everyone must have in Malaysia. No one is given an excuse not to have any faith. Okay, atheist is not acceptable in Malaysia. You must have faith, regardless of whatever faith. You must have faith. Number two, you have to obey and loyal to the king and the country, right? The king and the country. Don't simply regard the king as your friend. Some people draw, they draw the character of the king, as if their own friend. They change the face of the king with the animal. This is really disrespect to the king and the country. In Thailand, this person will be executed in Thailand, because Thailand is a kingdom country. Alhamdulillah, here you can be charged for being disrespect to the king and the country. Number three, the supremacy of the law. Okay, therefore we have to respect the law. Number four, rule of law, including the bylaw, regulations, code of ethics in the university. And number five, more importantly, number five, manners, right? Yeah, we have to have good manners. So people in this country and everywhere, we should have the respect. That's why respect has to be earned. You cannot ask people to respect you, but you have to work for the respect. Let us respect each other. That is the message that I would like to convey. That's why when I ask you to do the communication, so if you are not sure, do communicate and clear all the confusion. Do not reserve yourself until you exploded. In this country, people love to reserve. At the end, they became unstable. They became outbursts. All right, people in the Zoom, any questions? There are 5 people in the Zoom. Okay, welcome. You are now in the week 11. MashaAllah. How many weeks to go? This 11, 12, 13, 14, and then finish. And 1st July will be your final exam, face to face. Okay? No more. Not this room. The value will be announced. Will be printed in your iMaklum. Okay. But please make sure you have settled your tuition fee. If you have not settled your tuition fee, you might not be able to print your exam slip. Just to remind you, you need to show your exam slip in order to go into the exam hall. I just have to remind because people have forgotten. the face-to-face exam. The face-to-face exam is very structured. You need to bring your exam slip, okay, and then you have to sit according to the numbers given, okay, and then you have to come early, and you have to come before 15 minutes before the actual exam, and you cannot be late. Okay, if you late half an hour after the exam, you will be prohibited to enter the exam room, and then you will be given absent without permission, mean you will get 0 for your exam, no more special exam, etc. But however, if you are sick, suddenly, on that day you are sick, and you cannot wake up, please contact the clinic. Please inform them that you are sick, you cannot sit for the exam. The clinic will issue the medical certificate and they will give to the kuliah. And then you will be given absent with permission. And then you will have to sit in the new semester. Not this semester, in the new semester means in October. First week or second October, you will sit for the special exam. And for those who are in overseas, those brothers and sisters still in overseas, you cannot come back due to visa. Please email to the kuliah. Inform them that you are not able to sit for the exam, and they will arrange for the special exam in the new semester. For any problem that you're facing, do not keep quiet. I would like to emphasize again, do not keep quiet. Any problem, please communicate. Because we are not in the communication topic, please communicate. Very important. Okay, because you have the leeway for you if you miss the exam, provided that it is legitimate missing. But if you are late, and then sorry, you will be given 0 on that day. But however, in our class is special. Before the final exam, inshallah, all of you already passed the class. You know why? Yes, your project already given you very good marks, isn't it? You already, if you got 50, alhamdulillah, already passed the subject. Pass the subject already sufficient, but not enough to increase your CGPA. Okay, that's why for the security reason for this class, at least you already have the assurance, takaful in this class. The takaful is that whatever happen in the future, you already passed the subject. Okay, don't worry about quiz. Your quiz only 10%, right? And then your project, try to get 100% for your project. Normally project, we have no problem. We accepted whatever you submitted to us as long as you fulfill the requirement of project. Okay, normally project you get the full marks, because I want all of you minimum to pass the course. That's why the project actually is a platform for you to pass the project, to pass this course. But if you want to get better grades, that's why I differentiated you in the quiz, differentiated you in your final exam. Don't worry now about the quiz. Whatever the performance of your quiz, don't worry. Focus on your project. Let your project finish, and then focus on your final exam, inshallah. You have something, right, for this week, right? There's something that you're going to submit for this week, isn't it? Just to remind you those due dates. Okay, basically this, whatever you submitted, I accepted. No problem. There is no grading, whether no, even though I replied, it is not really 50%, it's not really 80%. Don't worry. Don't feel bad, no? Don't feel bad. But actually, what I want you actually, when you already reached 80%, it means that you already completed, you already published in the YouTube, and you have ample time to get the views and also feedback from your audience. And you don't have to go very far. Your friends here, 144 should be your audience and also commentators. Can you do that? Can you help among yourself? That's why let your friend view earlier so that they can comment. I don't want comment very short comment like bravo, excellent, you are great. No, I don't want this kind of comment. I want you to give deep comment. Deep comment with some what I call scholarly comments. The angle that you like to comment. Okay, remember our topic about leading the world, isn't it? We are leading the world, right? So you can use your project has element of half leading the world. Why I say so? Because the video that you show is not showing something that can convince people to lead, to practice at their end. This is my opinion. At my end, when I watch your video, I don't feel that I'm interested or I'm convinced. Be frank, no problem. There's no deduction. If your comments not very good, you get deduction. But what I want is comments from the audience. And you already have your existing audience, your classmates. But if you can give your parents, your aunties, your relatives, your alumni of your kindergarten, school, that's good. The more the merrier. That's why I would like you to do earlier before the actual date of 9th of June, so that you can get more viewers and also more comments from your friends. But it doesn't matter. But if you think that you still need to have more time to do the editing and so forth, you wait until 9th of June. It's also okay. That provided that please get the comment and also views. And do not disable the view and the comments. Some students, they submitted with their YouTube video, disable the comment. No one can comment my video. No, because why? Because you set like baby, for the kids, right? Then if you set to the kids, people cannot give comment. People cannot give comment because people cannot comment the kids. But you are not kids, right? But please make sure if you have kids in your video, please do something to the kid's face. Do not show the kid, but you blur the kid face. Or anything that is embarrassing the person, blur the picture. If you have people who are not supposed to be exposed, especially underage. This is also, and authentic. Video must be authentic. No plagiarism. You don't. But actually, when you upload it to YouTube, anything copyrighted, YouTube will reject, right? So that's already one way to help me from filtering your video. YouTube will already have anything copyrighted. The YouTube will reject your video. But if okay, the YouTube will give clearance. Then pass. You already passed the plagiarism in your video. And some people wanted to use music because some music they don't have copyright. General music, okay. But the moment they say copyrighted material found in your video, and then you cannot upload, and then therefore people cannot view. Okay, and please like the video on. Don't delete. Some students after 9th of June, they deleted the video. Don't do that, no, because we are leading the world, right? Leading the world means we want people to learn from our experience. Don't delete. Some students, after the due date, after getting the marks, they deleted the video. Please don't do that. But they say even I deleted, the lecturer cannot reverse the marks already. No, I appeal to you, do not delete, because we want people to learn from your practice. Okay, and then don't forget also the reflection. That's why when you have the comments, you can do more meaningful reflections. This is the idea why due dates 9 June, video submission, and then reflection on the June 10th. Basically, just 1 day left, right? The purpose because I want you to reflect all the comments that given by the audience of your video. Okay? Can you do so? Okay? Make meaningful comments because we want to lead the world. We want to lead the world so that the world can see the impact of IIUM materials, teaching and learning materials that are leading the world. Yeah, because we already declare to the world. Recently, our rector went to Barcelona, not to play football. Our rector went to Barcelona, Spain, to attend the meeting of UNESCO, and our rector mentioned to the crowd of UNESCO that IUM is now leading the world into the spirituality. Yes, spirituality means the values, Buddhi, the garden of knowledge and virtue. We have the virtue, and then we also have one significant hallmark here, the Wadi Buddhi, right? Anyone here do not know what is Wadi Buddhi? Brother, you know where is Wadi Buddhi? No. MashaAllah. One day bring your brother to Wadi Buddhi. Wadi Buddhi near the stadium. You know Stadium Stadion Hamzah? Stadium also do not know.
No, I know Stadium.
Wadi Buddhi, just at the roundabout near the stadium, you see there is one hallmark, the COVID virus statue. So you see one big building, right? And then you see sometimes we have events. There's one cafe also there. That cafe is not budget cafe, expensive cafe. So we have lots of activities there. And also students also learn about cooking, sewing. And recently we have the a project of a Baju Raya. So that's a place, Wadi Buddhi. That is the hallmark for the students to express their virtue. But in your case, your virtue, activities, project that you did are actually the virtue to tell to the world, this is how we should live our life according to the good values. Okay, and your project also aligned with the SDG goals as well. All right, that's I want to emphasize on our project. Okay, you are right. Just now you mentioned about the functions of communication, the process. You have summarized already. Okay? In just now in your discussion, in one short discussion, you already summarized the topic of communication, which is very important in organization. Okay, you are right. It's very simple actually, just to convey the message. Not just convey the message, but you want the action. Our sister here convey the message. But if just convey the message, the last sister couldn't react to the message, means that the message doesn't reach to the level of understanding. We want the understanding to reach the person. No loss of meaning. We do not want to have any loss of meaning. Lost meaning means the person cannot understand and therefore the person cannot perform the task. So we have two types of communication. Number one, we are humans. Therefore, we are having communication. Yeah, formal or informal communication. That's the nature of human life. We don't speak all the time. We speak in the formal language, isn't it? Sometimes we speak in our informal language. For example, at the dining hall, at the pantry, we speak in our informal language, but not in the disrespect way, in the very respectable way when we do the communication. So when we have interpersonal, you are right. We need to have. Just now, brother mentioned about the ta'aruf, right? Yeah, you need to do the ta'aruf. You have to get to know the person. Because why? We need to know the do's and the don'ts. Okay? What are the like or dislike of the person? Sometimes you discover through your interaction. Oh, sorry, I thought that you are okay if I ask you this question. But with this person, you cannot talk about something sensitive. The person will not be happy. I remember when because sometimes when you meet new people, you start to talk about current issue, inflation, for example. Immediately the person said, please don't talk about that. Don't talk about chicken. Don't talk about what else? Chicken eggs. Don't talk about vegetables. But talk about what? Let's talk about the moon, the clouds, the weather. Okay, fine. Just go for the something. Don't talk about the Manchester United, defeated. Don't talk about that as well. Because sometimes some people are okay, they are open with any topic, but some people no. I also learned in my family, we shouldn't talk about current issues. We cannot talk about forensic, forensic audit. We cannot talk about that. We cannot talk about case. We cannot talk about what I call leadership. We cannot. We talk about other thing else. Cleanliness, okay. We can talk about cleanliness. We can talk about weather, okay, but not about the current issue. But some people they don't want. Therefore, we learn through our interpersonal communication. But in organization, we have formal etiquettes. All right, we have formal etiquette where what to talk and what we shouldn't talk. This is in the organizational communication. And sometimes they don't talk in person. They just announce in the email through the circular memos by the university. I think you receive notification through your iMaklum, isn't it? That's why it is called iMaklum, right? Maklum means notification, right? Yeah, they notify you. Okay, because if they were to talk to one by one, it's a very cumbersome, right? Just now I have to talk to one sister, and then this sister has to communicate another. You became very, very tired, isn't it, right? Have to go at the back, talk one by one. Imagine, to communicate 30,000 people in this university. So what they did, just blast the iMaklum. Everybody will receive from the iMaklum. And also they put posters. Now we have the posters wall on our campus. Anything happen on our campus? Perhaps I don't have any idea. I can see poster here, poster at the junction. Or your election. When will be the election day? 28. Or next week. Or this Saturday. Okay. This is your choice, or you are free to choose anyone. Are they divided by constituency, kuliah base, general base? No, just general. Because during the previous time, we have a different constituency. One we call the general constituency, the other one we call the kuliah constituency. But this one just general. Okay, good. So any of you contesting? No politician here. Brother, did you contest? But you are the campaign workers. You know election, right? Now they are campaigning you, right? Is it compulsory for you to vote? Compulsory? Not compulsory? Or no idea? I mean, the message doesn't reach you. These people should do something to convey to you. Elect them to be your leader, to represent you for your own, welfare and wellness. You complain that not enough food on campus, not enough cleanliness. These people will be your representative. Good, to practice this, because this is our reality. Okay, in reality, we are electing our leader to represent us, to champion our rights. Okay, Australia just decided their leader. Okay, last week they got the election, so they really changed the government to another fraction of the government. Okay, why communication is important? What are the functions? Just now, when you do the communication, the function is that you can express yourself, right? You can express what is your opinion about something. Okay? But be careful when we do the expression also, even though you wanted to express your emotion, but we need to get the correct channel of expressing our information, our emotion. Yeah, because we do not want people manipulate or people might take advantage on our emotion and at our disadvantage. Yeah, we do not want. And communication also, I maklum, like I said, I maklum to notify, okay, the public about what is happening. And that's why in all organizations, they have the PR, public relations, and also communication. In our university, we have Office of Communication, OCAP, okay, and public relations. Why? Because we need also to communicate people, to inform people what is happening. Even though we have a lot of channels of information, but we still need to have the official channel, okay? Because perhaps the non-official might not be giving the correct information. And also, communication can also motivate people, and can burn your spirit, can burn also your direction and also your spirit. That's why the Japanese company, they always maintain their communication with the workers. How they did? They have the verbal and also non-verbal. Okay, this is my experience when I visited Japanese company to supervise students doing practical training. I could see they did both verbal and non-verbal communication. What is the verbal? When they in the morning before you start your work, they will tell you, they will give you a briefing what actually we wanted to achieve for that particular day in the morning. And then of course with the exercise, the morning exercise. Then after that, after they completed the job of the day, and they will do the debriefing. Or they say we have done, but something went wrong, so we need to do the correction in the next day. They did this, on everyday basis. Now, that's why the spirit of continuous improvement is practiced through these activities in the Japanese company. And how to make them united, non-verbal. Everyone will have uniform, of course, a factory uniform, and they emphasize on eating together. The top management, CEO, until the general workers, all of them during the lunch hour, all of them will have to be in the dining hall. Why they want to have the congregation of eating? This is Japanese practice. You know what happened? Through eating, even though you don't talk, but you can see the example, the role models, togetherness. They get the what called the spirits, togetherness in the organization. Similarly, the non-Japanese company that I used to work, similar. They also practice the same. Briefing in the morning and debriefing in the afternoon after the work, and they can also get along with their workers. But the moment you do not have regular communication, and people start to have the gossip, the backbiting, the backstabbing, and all the toxic will emerge, and then the organization will start to have lack of unity and also cohesion among them. It's happening. Okay, especially also, especially after COVID-19, organization
still need to recover from the from faceless to the face-to-face. People have to restart and reset how to live as humans in the organization. And also communication can control, can control the mind, the soul, and also the physical of people. If you have a clear information, right, you feel very, very peace in doing your work. There is no confusion or you have something that is disturbing yourself, then you cannot focus in your job. Okay, communication is very powerful. Okay, don't give lack attention to communication. And also communication also can change people through when you say the same thing over and over, even though this is not the true one, but you say regularly, consistently, you can create a belief in the organization. So the question will be, how do we relate this function of communication in increasing the efficiency and effectiveness? How these functions of communication can contribute to the efficiency? How can this save costs? How this can give you good image, good reputation? Normally in exam, we don't ask what are the functions of communications. We never ask that. We ask, suggest 2 ways the functions of communication can increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. So in other words, you have to condense this. Okay, you have to analyze, and then you have to think what actually the benefit to the efficiency. Remember, management is about working with people and through people to achieve the goal with efficiency and effectiveness. So how can this contribute to the efficiency? I mentioned just now. So when you able to function the communication, people will have peace of mind, and they won't make mistake because they already clear what to do. They already have the direction to do the work. For that reason, there will be no mistake. There will be no, when we have mistake contribute to the inefficiency. Okay, what else? When people are given the chance to express themselves, etc., they can increase their confidence, right? Their confidence and also their convictions, and also they can give their focus in doing the job. So another word, this is the knowledge. Yeah, knowledge, Next is comprehension. So how this function of communication can contribute to the efficiency. Next, you have to do the synthesis. All right, these are the advantage. How they can contribute to the efficiency and effectiveness. That's what. If you only have knowledge, you only have the comprehension of these functions, but you don't have the synthesis, unable to synthesize this, and therefore you are not able to answer the requirement of the question. Okay? When you ask to recommend, suggest, actually recommend and suggest is about synthesis. Yeah? Synthesize this knowledge. But you only memorize, you are not able to synthesize this. So in other words, when you see this knowledge, try to reflect. Reflection is also another process of synthesis. Reflect means how this will contribute to the efficiency, how this contribute to the effectiveness. And then from here, then only you can suggest, you can recommend. Otherwise, you cannot recommend. If you only know, you recommend, okay, I recommend the organization to do control. I recommend organization to do a motivation. That is not the answer. The answer means how this can increase the efficiency. That is your recommendation. Okay, start to do this practice. Okay, knowledge, comprehension, and synthesis. Okay, this is the process. When we learn about the process, is basically it has a flow. Number one, process has a flow from one to another. In this context, we have the source. We have the from the source of the message to encode mean to translate into so that you can transfer into the channel, and then the receiver will be able to decode and they can receive. This is the process. If just one way, mean to say there is no feedback. So one way without feedback. So two ways we have feedback. But however, at each of these process, we have noise. We have the what called factors that reduce the message, reduce the encoding process, reduce the channel, and also reduce the decoding, and also reduce the receiver. This noise can be anything. Okay? Can be the level of understanding, can be the emotion of the person, can be also the situation. So that's why by looking at these marriages, by looking number one, when you look at the process, and then you can identify what went wrong to the communication in your organization. Then you can start to address the point and that has the problem. Okay, that's why we need to find what went wrong with the message that we distributed but doesn't reach. Sometimes reach them, but for example, an email announcement. University announced in email. You know what happened? Through a lot of email, right? Information overload. Noise also. And what happens? Some people don't want to read. They just ignore or they just delete. Some people, they just deleted all their messages. And then therefore they didn't get. And therefore we need to have the follow-up with the personal sharing of the organization and also from the leader. Okay, the source actually the person who initiate, if the top management, they are the one to make sure that the information is simplified. Okay, when they convert, the message must be easy. It cannot be complicated. That's why nowadays, beside the description, people will provide also the infographic. I think you people love to see infographic, right? So nowadays, every report, right, they have infographic. In the past, no infographic, just the plain statistics. Very difficult to read. But now they provide us the summary of the budget, infographic of budget 2022, infographic of your manifesto in the election. If you have to give 5 pages of manifesto, nobody going to read, isn't it? But you put into the infographic, people can visualize. But if they want to see the detail, they can find the detail or the report. Okay, and then we also need to give weight. What actually the purpose of the message? Is it to inform, or is it to alert, or is it to for general knowledge? The message must be clear, especially when you distributed the message at the large scale, because we do not want people to have information overload and also miscommunication. Use the right channel. Email is good, but sometimes email can be also bad when people receive a lot of emails. So what else you can do? That's why people put posters. Poster means it is permanent. People can see the poster. But nowadays, our posters, people don't use poster anymore because they want to save trees, right? Because they don't want to print. But disadvantage that people might be missing. But again, alhamdulillah, some of your potential leaders, they already printed in their banners, sometimes papers. They want you to know that they are here as candidates of the election. But certain countries, they don't have the posters. But in Malaysia, underdeveloped countries, people still need to have posters because not everyone access to the emails or internet or whatever, digital media. We don't have. And that's why when it comes to election in Malaysia, very, very merry, right? Colorful. If no posters, no election. People say, oh, there's no happening, right? No posters war. So poster is another good channel. Poster, you don't write in essay, right? You only show the picture of the person and then the infographic. Okay, because we want the person to decode easily with the infographic. If you write in a very wordy words, people cannot comprehend, especially in the public. And when you talk to the people, talk according to their understanding. Don't talk to the villagers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sohaimi from IIM. First and foremost, I'm going to talk about the theory of acceptance among the people. My beloved brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen of Kampung Sungai Pusu, the first premise of theory of acceptance, we have to realize the importance of relation among the people. You know what happened to the villagers? What happened to them? Your message does not get through, right? Nobody understood. That's why, when people talk to the villagers, they use the language of the villagers. They will say, auntie, uncle, do you want your village to have good bridge? Yes. Do you want your village to have good community hall? Yes. So don't forget to vote for me. I will bring you the bridges. I will bring you the community hall. These are things you have to talk to them. You can imagine, as a civilized country, you need to have a place for people to interact and also for people to get together in order to increase the group cohesiveness among the people in the village. Nobody can understand. But when you talk to the scholars, don't talk the village language. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want bridge? Do you want a hall? So what happened to this professor? That's why you have to know your audience. The language. When you talk to the kindergarten, you cannot talk high language. That's why you have to know who are the receiver. Because if the message contain something that they couldn't understand, this is also noise. Okay, and then that's why campaign nowadays they use. Beside, we have the debates, we have the forum, we have the television and social media, TikTok and whatnot. They also must go to the campaign, to the rally, see people, because sometimes people wanted to see. And you don't have to talk a lot with the crowd. For example, you see in the Johor election, right? You don't have to talk. What you do? You walk and walk and walk and walk, right? Walk about. And then nowadays we can touch, right? Walk and then people wanted to have the touch. Sometimes the touch not necessarily handshake. You touch on the back, right? How are you, auntie? How are you, uncle? They feel your presence is felt. You don't have to be there longer hours. This one another method of campaign. Walk about and go every street, everywhere. And then when you walk, people will. Don't forget nowadays, right? To have the live, right? Live everywhere, live. Because other people also will follow your presence. This is the method. Because we do not want to have the noise in the in the communication with the people. And more importantly, get the feedback. That's why we need your comment, feedback, like, dislike. But don't worry, like and dislike. This one is something that good for us. Some people, when people do not like their video, they feel bad. So this is not important. What important? We receive the feedback. Okay, with the feedback that we receive, and then we can address any weaknesses. All right, I already mentioned just now, communication in oral and also non-oral or non-verbal, and then written. Okay, oral when you speak. When you speak, you have to use the correct words and also the intonation. Intonation is not words, but it is we call non-verbal. Okay? For example, you wanted to get people to be with you. Ladies and gentlemen, how long we are going to be like this? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, come on, wake up, don't sleep. Let's go to the field. Get our chicken farm, get our cattle farm, so that we can have secure our food. If you say like this, brothers and sisters, our country is now facing food shortage. Therefore, we have to do something on this shortage. What's the non-verbal message to the audience? The message is good, right? The message is good, but again, they cannot feel. Feel what? The urgency of the message. That's why politicians, they know how to use the intonation. That's why sometimes they purposely, get people to clap, right? Why? To confirm whatever they say is true. That's why sometimes we have instructed clap. Sometimes, in our tradition, brothers and sisters, we have to do something. Hey, come on, clap. Don't ask people to clap, because let them react on your reaction. But sometimes they wanted this reaction to be instant. That's why they ask people to clap, or sometimes they assign people to be the audience that sometimes they will. So I'll be with you. I'll be with you. I will join you. Sometimes people, I also be with you. Okay, this just sometimes you think, where are these people coming from? These are not our villagers. Never see them. These are the actors and actresses, to intensify the expression of the campaign. Sometimes you have to do that in order to have the we call multiply effect. This also people learn from the expert of communication. If you don't do that, people don't see the impact. Sometimes you have to plan, including also we have the internet. We have the warrior, right? They call the keyboard warrior. So you also need to have the warrior in your community or in your organization. Okay, your body language, your voice, and also sometimes your eye contact, your movement, and also the expression also can bring the effect into the communication. Okay, inshallah, we will continue our discussion in our online class on Thursday, inshallah. Any questions, brothers and sisters? Are you final with your project? All of you on the right track, right? Alhamdulillah. All right, thank you very much. People in the Zoom, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, right. Are you following our discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with that, we end our session with Tasbih Kafara and so. Barakallahu fiik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.